Incoming chat.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Incoming Chat, the B2B business communication by live chat. If you've been following us, season 1 was a lot of our friends and team members. We try to invite people just to have a chat and try to shape what Incoming Chat was becoming. In season 2, we try to talk to more settled business and startups to try to figure out. And season 3, we wanted to take it up a notch, take it a step up. And we started talking with companies that they're doing a lot of amazing and big stuff. And one of the things we were trying to do last year was trying to talk to Ahrefs and with people that works there, because we're marketers, we're a big fan of SEO. And we got in touch with Tim Soulo. If you're in marketing, you know exactly who Tim is. Tim Soulo, as CMO of Ahrefs. And I have him here. Tim, welcome to the show.
Hey, Marcus. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, man. I'm not going to say who you are that much. I'm going to let you do that. But I just want to remind for those of you who don't know, Tim is the CMO of Ahrefs since 2015, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ahrefs has been around the business for about 11 years and is something that we all marketers know because it's something that we use day-to-day basis. But I'm going to let Tim talk about a little bit more about Ahrefs. But we're going to try to focus on business communication and how a company like Ahrefs or a company like ours in live chat, how do we shape the voice of talking to our customers and talking to our targets, and how do we use SEO in the process too? Tim, give us a little bit of your background and how you end up as a CMO of Ahrefs.
Good question. I'm not sure if people are that interested to learn about my background. They're probably here for some useful information, so I'll try to make it very short. Basically, I started working in SEO/digital marketing around 15 years ago. I was as you can hear from my accent, I'm not native English speaker. So I was born and raised in Ukraine, but I always tried to do marketing for English-speaking countries, and this is how I launched some side projects. And this is how our CEO and founder Dmitry noticed me and invited me to join Ahrefs and be in charge of marketing. That's basically the short version of the story.
Did you guys meet in the Ukraine?
Sorry?
Did you guys meet in the Ukraine or?
No. Even though I always wrote my articles in English and tried to create videos in English, I never tried to conceal the fact that I'm a Ukrainian. It's not that I can conceal it given my accent anyway. But yeah, so Dmitry, as a Ukrainian himself, when he was doing some research of my previous work, like published articles, my personal blog, it wasn't a problem for him to realize that I'm Ukrainian. So yeah, we didn't meet before that in Ukraine. But I think the fact that both of us are from the same country had some bonding effect and helped me to get fired.
And definitely experience, man. I was going through your LinkedIn and obviously through your blogs and stuff before, and I took a lot of very interesting jewels out of that and very helpful stuff, man. I mean, even though when did you start your blog?
I don't even remember, but the fun fact is that I started my blog as a bet with my friend. So basically, both of us started a blog from scratch, and there was a bet who can make more traffic in 6 months. Long story short, I won the bet, but not because I was so amazing at generating traffic to my blog, but because my friend quit halfway. So that's basically the story. Yeah, but I enjoyed running that blog so much that I kept doing it even when my friend discontinued his. And then that blog turned into a side business because I was creating WordPress plugins and making money out of it. So yeah, it was a fun journey. And whenever people ask me how to become a digital marketer, what's the best thing you can do? I tell them, try to sell something online, try to create your own business online, and you'll realize what it means to be a digital marketer.
Wow, you guys are doing a great job. And one of the things that really caught my attention, and so Ahrefs was founded 2010, right? So
yeah,
but it's only been in the last I don't want to say only a few years, but in the last years that you guys are becoming a huge name. I mean, it took time, and this is something we remind people all the time: is that it's not that you guys started Ahrefs 2 years ago and you became popular like that. It's a lot of work behind.
Yeah, of course.
And so when did you guys find out, or was it from the beginning or later on the trip that you guys find out the importance of having a proper marketing strategy for the company?
Well, I think Dmitry, our founder and CEO, understood the value of marketing from the start, because back in 2015 when we connected, what he said to me is that Ahrefs, like if you grade the product quality, it would be like 5 out of 5 or like 4.5 out of 5. Like they had amazing product, but he would grade the marketing as like maybe 2 out of 5 or like 1.5 out of 5. So he kind of explicitly told me that my job is to bring marketing to 5 out of 5. So he did understand that he has a great product on his hands that is selling itself, that people are willing to recommend and such, but the marketing wasn't there. So this was kind of the general assignment, the general goal, the general KPI that he gave me. Make 5 out of 5 marketing.
No, I mean, not a bad goal to have. But did you were you scared like in the beginning? Because I mean, you're joining a company. I guess you knew the company. But
yes, of course, yeah.
But I mean, starting with a marketing strategy from scratch is not an easy task.
So you're asking if I was scared?
Yeah. Like, were you like, oh my god, like,
no,
because you're taking a CMO position.
Ignorant. I wasn't scared. I was ignorant, and I wasn't a CMO back then. I was just like director of marketing or something. So it was quite ambiguous, and we are not very big on titles here in Ahrefs anyway. But I was like, I just didn't put much thought into it, like responsibility and blah, blah, blah. Dmitry invited me to help him out. I had some ideas, or there were some things that I was excited to take care of. And I didn't think much further than that, basically.
I mean, that's the way to do it, man. Just go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So when you, and this is for people who are starting too, like, and it happens a lot. I mean, it happens here in Poland, it happened before in the US. A lot of companies start, they go, and then they realize halfway, like Dimitri did, like, damn it, we definitely need to invest in marketing. And I don't mean money-wise only, but and people who knows. So when you get to join Ahrefs, like, what were your first, the first actions or the first thing you wanted to do, sort of to figure out how to help?
That's a good question. I do vividly remember that I hated the homepage that they had back then. So one of the first things that I tried to help Dmitry with is create a new copy and the new layout for the homepage, and like kind of reposition how the tool is being presented on the homepage. So I do remember that was like one of the very first things that I started to dig into. And the other thing that I started doing, it is more kind of more broad, more general. I tried to better understand the product, why people are using it, how people are using it, and what's the value of it. Because then I could kind of transmit this knowledge to the rest of the people who are not using the product. So basically, I started like going knee deep into the industry, talking to people, and figuring out like what I've got myself into.
A big thing, I guess, a big thing. So one of the things I'm very attracted to in the marketing area, and one of the things that we talk a lot in the show too, is finding the right voice for a company. And Ahrefs has a product that is, if you take the marketing away, it's a very technical product, right? It's very, even though it's super important in marketing, it's a very technical thing. But one of the things, and I have to tell you, like, I feel you guys are doing great, is to add this sexiness, this fun to a brand. And that's what I want to dig in a little bit more, because it's not only for the people listening, it's also for me. I was like, how did you find that voice? How did you find that tone that Ahrefs is known for now?
Okay, so we read probably 5 books on the topic. Then we had probably 15 meetings. And there was this very useful exercise. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't do any of that.
I was like, oh, this is not sexy at all.
It was totally random. It was like absolutely random. I guess the thing is that we don't take ourselves too seriously. So we're not like people in suits, like going to meetings with like top VCs in Silicon Valley or something. We just a bunch of back then I was less than 30 years old, so it's kind of more or less like kid. And yeah, like Dmitry is more or less the same age as I am. So we're doing this stuff that we thought we would enjoy if like other companies who we want to work with would do. So there was no strategy or there was no calculation behind it. We were just talking to our customers and to the market the way we talk between each other. That was basically how we kind of found the voice.
So will you say like the way you guys communicate to your customers, is it full authentic?
Yeah, of course.
And how important you think that is for brands, and especially in the world that brands try to look at, okay, I'm going to serve this young dude who's in charge of SEO in the company, but at the same time, you're also selling to that big corporation who has a team of SEO people working for them. Would they be scared of working with us because of our tone of voice? And how do you handle that? Because that's something that is still goes around in my head. Like what is the click in there?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I was obviously like conscious of that. Like, how do we present ourselves? Do we present ourselves like, I don't know, a bunch of teenagers from Ukraine who are trying to do something and like no one would take us seriously? And back in the day, because I was worried about my Russian/Ukrainian accent, I even like Gary Vee was running a show like as Gary Vee, and I submitted a question about my accent because I know that Gary Vee has also Ukrainian roots, I believe.
Yep.
And I asked him, do you think that Russian accent is some kind of impediment to creating content online whenever you speak, not write things, but speak like on podcasts or like videos? And he said that, yeah, like a certain amount of people would be judgmental of that. But that's not the reason to not do it if you believe that you can provide value to people. So I was quite hesitant when I started our YouTube channel and I was posting videos there. And 5 years ago, my accent was much, much heavier than it is today. So I'm working on it. And for our product, I also created some videos that we sent to our customers whenever they signed up. And I was worried that after seeing like a random young Ukrainian dude speaking English, and it's not even like perfect English, that it can put them off. Like I don't want to deal with those guys. They probably don't understand what they're doing. But that didn't happen. So basically, I'm talking about my accent, but it's the same story with the tone of voice. If you feel confident about this, if you feel that this is you, this is what you should be doing, it actually makes things easier because you don't need to pretend to be someone else and like carefully think, should I say this or should I say that? You just stay yourself and you attract a certain amount of people, but you obviously put off a certain amount of people as well. So I'm sure there are people who think that I'm a fraud or like anything like this and I don't know anything and no one should listen to me. But at the same time, there are people who appreciate the stuff that I'm sharing in our content.
Well, I totally understand that because not too long ago, I was called a leftist liberal Chad.
Well,
because of
one
my
thing
tattoos.
we don't really touch politics. Yeah. One thing we don't really touch politics, especially the US politics, because we are like folks from Ukraine living in Singapore. So we don't really
it can
like,
get
tweet
more
or
diverse
say
than
anything
that.
along. Yeah.
Now, how much of yourself? I mean, obviously, one of the process that a lot of companies do is to create the tone of voice of the company, which is it could not match any of the team's tone of voice or any of the people that works in there. It can be a unique tone of voice. But how much of you or your team is in the way you guys communicate?
I don't honestly know how to answer this question. But I'd say this, that whenever we need to send some important message that we know will get a lot of traction, we would actually first share it with the team members and with Dmitry specifically, so that he would help word that message in the way that he sees this.
Got it.
So if there's something like very important, it should come from Dmitry himself. And then there's like a ladder of importance. If it's a little less important, I can do this. If it is even less important, then some other people can do this. So that's basically the formula.
And I was telling you before we started recording the show that how much I enjoy the stuff that you guys are doing in YouTube. And
thank you.
When was the time that you guys decided, well, let's do video? Video is going to do a difference. I mean, you were saying that you started sending videos, a bit worried about your accent and stuff, but the stuff that you guys put out, and I want to say it to the camera, is a huge inspiration for the stuff that we're doing too. And when was that moment that you said, like, look, video's taking over. Let's move to video. Let's do stuff there.
So we read 5 books on the topic. The answer is pretty much the same. Shortly after joining Ahrefs, I realized that we are not doing videos, and somehow I had this urge. Like I told you before joining Ahrefs, I actually reached out to Gary Vee, asking if I should be doing videos, given that I have this strong accent. Would it be like too hard for me to get traction? So I naturally wanted to do this. I naturally wanted to do videos. So without much hesitation, I just took my iPhone, put it in front of me, and started recording some videos about SEO. And I was I was afraid that professional SEO people would make fun of me, because I was basically no one, and then I was trying to teach people SEO. So conscious of that, I called the video series that I was publishing on our YouTube channel Oversimplified SEO, so that no one would say like the stuff that you're sharing is simple, it's basic.
Just
I say,
to protect yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I called it Oversimplified SEO, and I started recording videos, and then it went well. And actually, I remember another kind of epiphany that I had in terms of, it's not specifically about video, but it was about creating content. So when I came to Ahrefs office, I saw that they have this Wacom tablet for drawing. So like for professional illustrators, so you put it in front of you, you take like a special pen and you draw on it, and it draws on your screen. And because my wife has like designer education, I took this Wacom tablet home to test it if she would enjoy using it. Should we get something like this? And when I tried to install it and like play with it, I realized that I have no idea where to click, what to do, and stuff. So what I did is I went to YouTube and I searched for like Wacom installation or Wacom tutorial, and this is when like was a big light bulb moment, like bam. So if I was going to YouTube, going to Google and searching for like tutorials on how to use like a piece of equipment that I have no idea how to use, but I want to, then people who are signing up for Ahrefs, and Ahrefs is also like complicated or sophisticated in its own way. So people who are signing up for Ahrefs and they know they want to do SEO, they know they want to improve their websites, but they don't necessarily have an idea how. So they might go to Google or YouTube and search for some tutorials that will give them like the first steps or like help them achieve whatever they want to achieve. This is when I realized that we have to be there whenever people search for those things.
And how happy are you? I mean, I'm a big fan of what you guys do. Like, how happy are you with your video strategy?
How happy? Pretty happy. It's going well. We have over 200,000 subscribers as of today on our main YouTube channel, which is quite an achievement in the SEO space. So it's not that we are throwing Mentos in Coca-Cola and like generating thousands of views out of this. SEO is like, can be called like a boring topic. So to generate 200,000 subscribers, it's pretty good achievement, I think.
It is. I mean, we're still working on getting our first 1,000. We've been up for about a year. But it's a fun trip. I mean, I'm enjoying, like, every time we get 1 or 2 subscribers, it's like, people's enjoying what we're doing, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
So I don't want to touch SEO yet because I know you obviously you know your stuff. But going back to the communication bit, how do you see it coming in the near future? Most companies are doing sort of the same trip, right? You start with a lot of written content, then you start adding video, and you start trying to take in every social channel. How do you see it happen? Do you think companies should be always a step ahead with the new channels, or they should sort of build a strategy step by step?
You're asking very hard questions.
And dude, you're more than welcome to say, I don't know, because I wouldn't know. To be honest, and that's what I wanna go back and appreciate what you said before. Is a lot of the decisions that you're taking are gut decisions. Exactly. Let's just do that. But let's go ahead.
Let me give a disclosure for all the listeners. Pretty much every answer to the question that you're asking, let's assume that I start with I don't know, because like those are really like hard questions, and there is no single right answer. There are like tons of ways to approach it, and the way that I'm explaining it might not be the right way. It's just something that worked for us like magically. So how I see companies, so it really depends on the company itself. What kind of resources do they have? What kind of product do they have? What kind of market they're in? What are their competitors doing? And all that. But for me personally, I like it a lot when a company has some kind of face or representative, which is something that I'm trying to do for Ahrefs, which is something Elon Musk is doing for Tesla, which is something Jason Fried and Dave Gerhardt, Jason Fried and DHH. I forgot what's doing for Basecamp. Those two guys, they are like thought leaders. They have their opinions about the industry. They're creating lots of content, and they're the founders. So they have lots of stuff to do on their plate, but they take time to share their thoughts and their ideas with people. And this helps them generate a huge audience. And like what you call the voice of the company, I think they are like at the pinnacle, at the highest point of like generating that voice, and then it trickles down on everyone else in the company. Do you think like and into that subject? Do you think personal brand is taking a bit more presence? Is it being as important as the brand itself? People will recognize, for example, like you mentioned specific names, right? I mean, yeah, Elon Musk is sort of a big one, but smaller names like Jason Friedman, when you associate the name of the person with the brand and it makes sense as a whole. Do you think personal branding is also taking a big role in marketing? Yes, of course. People like to follow people rather than brands, and Elon Musk is probably, as of today, the best example of how almost entire marketing of a company, like Tesla specifically, can be handled by just one person. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he actually said that they don't even have a marketing department.
Apparently,
because they kind of don't need it. Whenever Tesla wants to announce something or like share their opinion of something, Elon just has to tweet this, and like his tweet will get like hundreds of thousands of retweets, and like lots of media publications will pick it up and spread it further. So because like he's such a strong personality and such an accomplished person, they don't need this. Similar thing used to be with Steve Jobs, but back then we didn't really have such a power in social networks that we have today. So I think having some kind of persona in your company, and that usually should be the founder of the company, because who else can speak on behalf of the company? Even I struggle when I need to represent Ahrefs. I struggle in some ways because I cannot necessarily speak for Dmitry when answering like some questions. So it's hard for me to take the role, but it still works for us.
Do you think entertainment, right? And this is something I heard from another marketer, that marketing needs to entertain people because that's how you hook them, right? It's a good balance of entertaining and knowledge. How much importance, or how important is for you guys to use entertainment in your marketing strategy?
This is a great question. I will try to answer it with a specific example. So a few years ago, I decided to create a course about blogging. So I decided to share everything we know about blogging and specifically explain how we managed to grow our own blog. So when I was working on the lessons of that course, I decided that I'm going to make it free for a limited period of time so that a lot of people would watch it. And at the same moment, what I realized is that whenever you sell a course, you like all the persuasion happens before people see the thing. And then they put their money into it and they're kind of invested. So if you like pay $500 for a course, you have quite a strong motivation to watch it because otherwise that money is wasted. But when the course is free, you have zero investment in it. And basically that course is competing for a person's time with everything else in the world, with their child, with their mother, with Netflix, with their assignments at work. So it's really hard to make someone to watch a free course unless they are incredibly dedicated. And the amount of incredibly dedicated people is incredibly small. So what I tried to do is I tried to make the videos of my course as engaging and entertaining as they can be. And I sliced my course instead of making like 30-minute long lessons or like hour-long lessons. I split them into 5-minute lessons, 7-minute lessons, so that it would be like snacks. And the biggest testimonial, the biggest shout out that I got for it is when people were comparing my course to Netflix. That they thought that like someone tweeted something along the lines of, I thought I will watch Tim's course for like 20 minutes and then go to sleep. And now it's like 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm taking notes and I am to the screen. So this was very important for me. And a lot of people said that my free course was like the production quality was much better than many of the paid courses out there. So this basically answers your question in terms of entertainment. Yes, if you want to get people's attention, you have to be entertaining them. Otherwise, they will go somewhere else. There's just too many distractions today.
I love the Netflix reference because it makes total sense. And that's it's I mean, I'm gonna have to go and find that course now I want to watch it.
Blogging for business. Just search for blogging for business. I'm sure you'll find it.
If I find it, I'm also gonna add it into the comments in the video for sure.
Thank you.
One thing regarding video again. Yeah. You guys started your YouTube channel, started adding great content. Does anything specific or any sort of based on your own SEO knowledge or based on your own tool or tactics, anything that you guys did special or any tweaks that you did in order to grow that? I mean, 200,000 subscribers is amazing for something that is very niche in a way, right? What was the sort of little techniques that you recommend or you guys use on your own experience?
Well, you probably have to interview Sam to get a proper answer to this question, because he's the magician who took our YouTube channel to these heights. But some of the things that are important in my personal opinion, first of all, it's the actual content. Like, does it have utility? Like, is it helpful for people? Because otherwise, if the content is meh, people won't really subscribe and won't come back for more. The second important factor is actually kind of SEO, but like YouTube SEO. Like I said, whenever people struggle with something, they would go to Google and search for it, but sometimes they would go to YouTube and search for it because someone would decide that they're too lazy to read an article right now and they would rather like lay on the couch and watch a video. So they search for something on YouTube. So a lot of our videos that are keyword specific, that are targeting some search query on YouTube, are generating a consistent amount of views and consistent amount of new subscribers. So it is very important to cover topics that are so like evergreen, that people are searching for consistently, and be there for them. And finally, the production quality, the picture quality, the sound quality, and the animations, the entertainment that you have. Like, your videos cannot be boring. I think those three things are very important for a successful YouTube channel.
I'm definitely going to take some notes in there. When you use your marketing material, right? Most of the companies are focusing on converting people, right? The conversion. I need new clients. Do you guys have a different strategy or a different way to look at the way you talk to convert versus to convert into loyal customers, like your existing customers? Do you have certain material that you focus more into them, or certain things that you give them in a way to keep them happy?
No, we don't have any kind of differentiation between. So you can slice your potential customers in all sorts of ways. You can slice them into people who don't know you. You can slice them into the next segment, people who know you but don't use you, people who used you before but not use you anymore, people who are all your customers already. And like if you start going deep in that rabbit hole, that you should be creating specific content for these segments. You have to be segmenting those people and such and such and such. Your marketing gets very complicated, and I don't think that for a good reason. So in our case, we think that all the segments of people who could be potential customers of Ahrefs need basically the same content. So, I mean, if someone has an issue or have no idea how to build links to their website, they would go to Google and search for like, how do I build links to my website? It doesn't matter if they're familiar with Ahrefs, not familiar with Ahrefs. It doesn't matter if they used us 5 years ago, already existing user. Those things don't matter. All they want is learn how to build backlinks to their website. So if we manage to rank at the top of Google for this query and give them a good tutorial that would mention how to do this with the help of Ahrefs tools, we can convert them as a customer. We can make them more loyal as our customer. We can retain them or reactivate them as our customer. Or we can accelerate the word of mouth, because if someone is already a customer of ours and they learn a great use case for Ahrefs, and then their friend is struggling with it, they will just send the link to this use case to their friend. Bam, that accelerates word of mouth. So yeah, we don't have any differentiation along these lines. We focus on problems that people have, and we give them solutions that involve using Ahrefs. Better if Ahrefs is a replaceable solution for that problem. Better if there's a problem which cannot be solved without Ahrefs. This is kind of like an instant sell.
But that's definitely a great way to earn and keep customers if you're always there. Like if they have, I have this problem, like you're answering their question. You're giving them a solution straight away without asking for anything. And that's something I noticed, even though you're always mentioning your product, because obviously you're selling your product, your sell, at least in your videos, is very subtle. It's very like, look, you can solve it through us, but otherwise here are a bunch of different techniques or things that you can do, which I'm sure a lot of people appreciate. And now a lot of people in my team ask me to ask about Ahrefs too. So I need to ask you a few things, especially on the future of Ahrefs. Like where are you guys taking it? Because I remember reading about a few ideas that you guys had, especially with building a search engine or a couple of other solutions. Where are you guys and where are you going?
So essentially our mission with Ahrefs is to empower people who have amazing content to share, amazing knowledge, but don't have any SEO knowledge. So the knowledge of SEO shouldn't be required for ranking in Google and getting search traffic to a website. What should be required is being an expert in this topic. So what we're trying to do is make SEO more accessible, and for that reason, we're trying to create more useful tools and simplify the tools and processes, and release as much educational information as we can, so that to help those people who have something useful to share with the world, but who struggle to rank high in Google for those things because smart, experienced SEO people are outranking them.
And yeah, sometimes just based on little loopholes, because sometimes it takes you to go to the second page of Google to find a couple of treasures in there too. On SEO, one more time, if someone, and this is a question that someone asked me on LinkedIn to ask you, if you have little time to optimize your digital presence, right, website or content or whatever, 10 minutes you have. What will be the thing that you will do? What will be the thing that you will focus on and that will make a difference on your numbers?
Keyword research. That's the easiest question of today's interview. Keyword research, because a lot of people make a mistake of creating pages on their website or creating content or articles on their website on the topics that no one is searching for. So the most fundamental thing that you can do is check if there's a search demand, if there's a search volume for a topic that you want to cover on your website. Because if no one is searching for it, there's no way to rank in Google for it. This is the most fundamental thing, and a lot of people are making this mistake.
That's awesome. And with that, Tim, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. There's more information, and there's a lot of things that they're gonna make a big difference on the people listening and some of the companies listening too. For those of you at home listening or watching this video, I want to thank you for coming. If you like this video, make sure you click the like, subscribe, and follow us in our different social medias. Tim, one more time, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks a lot for having me.
And I hope we'll see you next time. Take care. Take care, everybody.
Incoming chat.